I just want to say Happy New Year and a few disclaimers. I do notice the booger in my nose. I've had to stare at it for the past 2 to 3 hours. I thought I eliminated it. There goes the fan. I thought I eliminated the booger and I did not. So we're just all gonna have to deal with that. Just don't look at it too hard. Just don't. I think if you don't stare at it too hard, there goes my ring. There goes my... I'm really happy to be able to make videos again. I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. That's really what I wanted to come on here and say, but I also wanted to give some disclaimers. Anyways, I'm gonna stop and put this, and I will see you all in my next video, or in this video, whatever. Bye! I didn't think this through. And I'm gonna tell you why. I have 8 minutes before my meeting. This wasn't the smartest idea. My space heater is going off because a lot has happened in my life since I last filmed. Let me update you. I've written 3 scripts because I wanted to try to mainstream my work. That's why it's been taking so long for me to get videos out, is just the research and the script. Next, I got COVID. I am the only one that does not leave this house, and if I do, I am always masked up, honey. And my family is as well. Watching this, I realized that I literally didn't talk about my family. I'm gonna fast forward through that. All of us, except for one, tested positive for COVID, and we're all fine. It wasn't terrible for my family compared to, of course, what I know other people have gone through, but it wasn't amazing either. For me, it was just cold symptoms. My family, for the most part, it was just more like fever, flu symptoms. That's that. I realized I was talking about myself and not about my family as well. We want to cut down, we want to minimize on I was gonna say capitalism, but I totally meant narcissism. And luckily it was just a cold situation. I don't think I have long COVID, and if I do, I feel like it's more like a congestion throat thing. My throat, the Department of Health, New York State Department of Health, tried to call me a million times. Every single time they called me, it was at the most inconvenient times. And of course you can't call in to talk to them about hey, these are my symptoms, this is what I did, this is where I was. I did get the diarrhea from COVID. I didn't know you could get diarrhea from COVID. And then our boiler caught on fire. But just the accumulation of getting COVID and then also having the boiler catch on fire just wasn't helping. Now I have some capacity. I have some other video topics lined up that I really want to do. I'm at 98 subscribers. I just checked. Shook to my core. So that's it. I feel like I didn't introduce myself. Hi, my name is Isis and this is Isis Says Hi. I like to make a lot of videos about research, topics, things that interest me, and sometimes I like to vlog. Welcome to the channel. I'm gonna go to my meeting and then I will actually record the rest of this video. I don't know what topic I'm gonna start with first. We'll see. You'll see. You'll know before I do. Okay, bye! Capitalism really makes the heart grow fonder. We love her. We love capitalism. It's probably not recording the right thing. It's not. Done for my meeting. As I was saying, we love capitalism. We really do. We stand it here. We are not afraid of it. We do not disown it. We actually embrace it. I am being sarcastic. We're going to talk about student loan forgiveness, and as a student loan gal myself, I really would love some forgiveness, okay? We got 6-figure debt, student loan debt over here. Part of it is because I did go back to get my master's, but still, we got 6-figure student loan debt. Haven't paid it in 2 years, but also I graduated 2 years ago, so I wasn't... You feel me? You feel me? Okay. Student loans are pretty much things that you get. You get student loans from the federal government or a private bank, some kind of lender to help pay for college costs like tuition, books, and living costs. With most loans, you do have to eventually pay it back, and that usually can happen 6 months after you graduate college, or 6 months, I think, after you just drop out. I'm not sure how it works if you don't finish, but I believe it's also the same 6 months. If I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me on that in the comments. So why do people want student loan forgiveness so bad? 43.2 million student loan borrowers are in debt by an average of $39,351 each. The outstanding federal loan portfolio is $1.59 trillion, insane, and approximately 42.9 million Americans with federal student loan debt each owe an average of $37,105 on average. More than 35 million of these borrowers qualified for the General Student Debt Relief under the CARES Act of 2020, and the average public university student borrows about $30,030 to at least attain a bachelor's degree. 53% of millennials have not bought a home because student loan debt disqualified them or made it impossible to afford a mortgage, and in 2018, 30% of college students lived at or below the poverty line, and 88% of single parents in college have incomes at or below 200% of the poverty line. 70% of the complaints about the companies that do give out student loans are about the mismanagement of their loans and lying, and many students don't know that they can get income-driven repayment plans on federal loans as required by law, and servicers often do not help them. Instead, borrowers are frequently placed in suspended payment options that continue to rack up interest because that's what happens on loans. I can get into a whole nother thing about that. I understand, we gotta make a profit, but girl, boy, person, let's stop. Additionally, borrowers frequently enroll in plans their servicers tell them are eligible for public service loan forgiveness, and spoiler alert, they're usually not. They make payments for many years. For public service loan forgiveness, it's 120 months, which equals out to about 10 years of paying student loans before you can get them forgiven, and usually they get denied because they were not on the right repayment plan. Just in general, public service loan forgiveness was just really tricky to try to get. Service loan providers also fail to explain that loan consolidation, so combining all of your loans together so you can pay one flat fee each month, that restarts the progress that people make towards loan forgiveness. So if we do cancel it, it may add up to 1.5 million new jobs. Debt forgiveness could potentially increase consumer spending because folks are not worrying about having to pay a loan each month, maybe not getting more things, or maybe saving money so they can afford houses and afford to do more bigger expensive things. So it would increase consumer spending by as much as 3.3%. 3.3% sounds really small. Economy-wise, I guess GDP-wise, it would be great. I don't think GDP relates to this. And it may encourage former borrowers to start families, buy new homes, create or invest in small businesses, which would give way to jobs, or obtain an advanced degree. Cancellation of up to $10,000 for every borrower may eliminate $377.3 billion, or 24.1% of the total federal student loan debt. And of course, there's always been talk about that balloon probably popping or bursting soon. I have no clue when or if that's true. That might lower that balloon, maybe take a little bit of helium out so it doesn't burst, you feel? 34.1 million, or 79.5% of borrowers owe $40,000 or less. And so eliminating all of that debt would erase $480.7 billion in student loan debt. 4.6 million borrowers owe $80,000 or more, and often these are graduate and professional degree holders. Next, households without the burden of student debt would have reduced their vulnerability to economic shocks because, again, they have a little bit more money to play with. Though both white and black borrowers both benefit from student loan debt cancellation, any amount considered would financially benefit white borrowers more than black borrowers. And other groups that would benefit from student loan debt cancellation include women overall, the Hispanic community, and the LGBTQ plus community. So yes, it might elevate white borrowers a bit more, but it also will elevate other marginalized communities, but it doesn't close that gap that we still have. There are, however, economic consequences. Education costs skyrocketed in the years following the implementation of the federal student loan program, and economists predict that this widespread student loan forgiveness will lead to an increase in costs for the next generation of students. So there are technically two options for canceling student loan debt. One is through Congress, and the other one is through President Biden and his executive power as president. Pushing it through Congress would be a less contested idea. It would be less challenged. So yes, technically it could go through Congress, but our Senate has a 50-50 split, and even then that 50 is usually 48-52. If you know, you know. Giving me heart attacks. So it would require bipartisan support, especially if it doesn't go through the filibuster. Eliminate that. Because Republicans are not for it. At least Republicans in the Senate are not for it. I'm not trying to like down Republicans in this video, but yeah, Republicans don't care about that. President Biden also has the authority as president to cancel student loans. He can do that through the education secretary, but he does not want to do that because while he can do that through the Department of Education, it can very easily get taken down in court, especially in the Supreme Court. Our odds aren't great there either. And also not enthusiastic because the executive powers are just, people don't look at executive powers great. The most commonly cited provision for canceling student loans, or the ability for the president at least to cancel student loans, comes from the Higher Education Act, and this was signed in 1965 and has been updated since then. And the law specifically authorizes a presidential administration through the education secretary to enforce, pay, compromise, waive, or release government-held federal student loans. And this is what allowed Trump and Biden to put a halt on student loan payments during the pandemic. People, of course, disagree, however, on whether or not the president can actually use an executive order to authorize this kind of debt cancellation. There is enough of a legal question that any move by the president would have a response of legal action. The more ambitiously the executive authority is used, the more likely a legal challenge, which makes sense. Another provision of this statute restricts the secretary's authority. The secretary only has the authority to cancel obligations owed to the United States government in the performance of and in relation to the functions, powers, and duties vested in him by part. In other words, the Secretary of Education can only forgive student debt if Congress gives them the ability to do so. So what's going on now to cancel student loan debt? Biden has currently requested that the Department of Education and Justice investigate his legal options. The outcome is unknown. Recently, the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions passed a resolution requesting that the that the president take executive action to broadly cancel federal student loan debt. We love a strongly worded letter. A group of 23 state attorney generals have called for reforms to ease the student loan repayment process and protect student loan borrowers from repaying debt to for-profit and defunct colleges, which is something that actually can happen. There was a law that allows that. So yeah, that's gonna happen. That's fine. But there's it's like we can do like certain chunks because they already were kind of in law and they just weren't able to be done. But like if we wanted to really go crazy, quote unquote, if we really wanted to go wild, quote unquote, and delete everybody's student loan debts, which like hackers, I'm looking at you, like just do that please, thank you. They can't do like the full widespread from what I've been seeing. Advocacy groups have called for student loan debt to be canceled on a broad scale since 2016. And as you may be aware, we are on forbearance, so we don't have to pay back any student loans until May 1st, 2022. Most borrowers will not have made a payment in over 2 years. That's me. And there have been other debt forgivenesses since then. Some are loan forgiveness totaling $7.1 billion for 364,000 disabled individuals. Future recipients will automatically be qualified if their data is matched against Social Security and Veterans Affairs data. For 47,000 current and former active duty members who faced imminent danger or hostile fire pay while serving, interest was waived automatically. Future service members will be automatically qualified for this benefit due to data matching. So I guess they can pay like the actual loan off, but they don't have to worry about any of the interest that incurs from just like not paying any of it. In October 2021, the Department of Education announced significant changes to public service loan forgiveness. There is a limited waiver that would remove some of the red tape that resulted in a lot of loan forgiveness denials. And this is at least for the next year, so I'm assuming until 2023. Under the limited waiver, a broader range of loan types and repayment plans, including past payments on FFEL or Perkins loans, late payments, and payments made on previously non-qualifying repayment plans will be acceptable for public service loan forgiveness. And furthermore, military members with federal student loans will have any time spent on active duty count towards public public student loan forgiveness, which I think is really cool, regardless of whether payments were made during that time, which is, again, amazing, awesome. As a result of the limited waiver, the Education Department estimates that 22,000 borrowers will automatically be eligible for loan forgiveness, with an additional 27,000 potentially eligible if they certify their employment history. So if they constantly tell the federal government, yeah, I'm still working in this position, and then this could result in about $4.5 billion in loan forgiveness. In addition, the Biden administration has forgiven $5.8 billion in loans for 323,000 borrowers who have a total and permanent disability that prevents them from earning money. Who can cancel loans? It seems like it is more easier and manageable to do it through Congress. Congress can't really fully do that because of who they have. So Congress wants a president to do it. I believe they said, like, if the president at least can make an executive order on it, Congress can then follow through supporting it. You have to still get that full agreement of the people in Congress. That's just not feasible sometimes, a lot of the time. I hate that I didn't come to like an absolute answer, because I love absolute answers. You know, they're my gals. Yeah, it brings to the point of just how insane it is to try and do something that's for the people and being very unable to do that because of the systems that were put in place. And I'm down with accountability, of course, and making sure that, you know, nobody is being corrupt in their positions. I definitely wish this had a better outcome. But it was also great to learn that, like, it's not a straight, clear-cut answer. And maybe it is. Maybe I'm missing something, which, you know, the great thing about research is that it doesn't have to just be me. You can also do extra research, do your own little digging and seeing maybe I've missed something and telling me that I missed something. I'm down with people telling me nicely that I missed something. Like, let me know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be respectful. Be nice. You can also just have free college. Coming at you with an update. There's been way more calls to try to cancel student loan debt, which, down for that. And Education Secretary Miguel Cardona didn't really allude to the Department of Education even trying to forgive student loans, but he did mention trying to make college more affordable for folks. I'm reading this on my second screen. Trying to make college more affordable for folks, continuing to provide targeted student loan debt relief to certain groups of borrowers, and that would add to the $15 billion that's already been canceled. Stricter enforcement on colleges that mislead and defraud student borrowers. Ensuring that borrowers have loan repayment options that match the financial circumstances that they're in. Implementing long-term improvements to like loan forgiveness programs, so that would include public service loan forgiveness, and creating a strong gainful employment rule to ensure borrowers have good job opportunities. Remember, like, Congress did call on the president to cancel up to $50,000 in student loan debt, and then the White House responded, you could just send us a bill and we'll sign it. It's not a big deal. During that time, the Education Department prepared a memo on Biden's legal ability to cancel student loan debt broadly using executive action. The White House officials saw that memo and are choosing not to release it. So, what does that mean? Ooh, that does not look good. Oh, and the White House just keeps responding, like, boastingly about, like, oh, well, nobody's had to do it while we've been in office. Yeah, because we're in a pandemic. Duh. Of course nobody's gonna be able to have to do it. Right now, it's just a lot of grandstanding and not actually trying to do anything to help people out with student loan debt. I wish college was way more affordable. There was, like, a law that happened that I read that made the financials just like jump out of this world, and that's pretty much why it is the way that it is now. Meanwhile, we have till May. We have 5 more months until 4 more months. pretty much 3 more months until we might have to pay them back or not. Maybe the pandemic will still keep going and we'll have to not pay them back until 2025. I don't know. But, you know, it would be easier just canceling it, because obviously we've gone 2 years without anybody really paying it off and nothing bad has happened. And somebody made the other point as well. Businesses, huge mega corporations get bailed out all the time, and the amount of money that they get bailed out of is way more than the student loan debt in general. But I am totally down for making college way more affordable like it used to be back in the good old days that I wasn't a part of because I wasn't even thought of yet. So I am done. I'm gonna go finish this video. I just wanted to give that update because I saw it while I was just scrolling, Googling, and that came up on my feed. I hope you all are gonna have a great rest of your day, month, year, and I will see you all in the next video. This is officially it. See you later. That was the weirdest laugh. I'm so sorry. Look at all the junk. All right, bye.